All right. Hey, hello, hello. All right, I think we are going. Let's make sure here. All right, cool. So far, so good. All right, cool beans. All right, so far, so good. Let's see if we are getting there. I had some issues last night, and I think I might have got those problems worked out, and it looks like I did. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Will Johnson. My website is unitedamericafirst.com. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much. Okay, so I do have some stuff I want to share with you as usual, right? I have some stuff that I want to share with you. Hold on one second. I know some stuff has been changing here on the system side. So, I'm having to bring the broadcast to you a completely different way than I have before in the past. And the company, the service provider that I was using before, I guess they have decided to blacklist my account. But anyways, all right, let's see. All right, we got enough people in here yet? Okay, I'm just trying to let people get in here. I'm trying to let some people get in here before we get started, and I will share some of the stuff with you that I have to share with you. Share, share, share. If you haven't already, please share right now. Okay. Today, I guess it's no different than any other day, or is it? They're still trying to figure out how they can go after President Trump. They're still trying to figure out how they can take President Trump out, how they can remove him from the 2024 election. And they're not going to stop. They're going to do everything they can to try to prevent him from being able to run for political office. It's no secret. We all know it, right? We all see what they're trying to do. They were supposed to do it again today. They were going to try to bring it back today, but they can't. One thing that I haven't been mentioning, and I want to mention it right now. You remember Stormy Daniels, right? That's what all this is supposedly be about. Stormy Daniels. Well, because of Stormy Daniels, they have Michael Avenatti, that was her lawyer. And then you have Michael Cohen. I'm not sure if there's, but anyway, all of them lied. And remember who had to pay President Trump for lying? Who had to pay for President Trump's legal fees? Anybody? Can I get a show of hands? Anyone knows? Anybody know? Stormy Daniels. She had to pay for President Trump's legal fees because she admitted to lying about all of it. But you have this DA, Alvin Braggs in New York, still going after President Trump for something that she even admitted to lying about. And I'm like, I didn't even think about it till earlier today. I was talking to a gentleman and it dawned on him, and he brought it up saying that, Stormy Daniels had to pay. So what is this? What is it that they think they're going to achieve here? Well, again, just like the Hollywood sex tape, they're trying to, the main thing is that they're trying to get you to say, well, I can't support Trump because, he got all of this baggage. He has all of this baggage. So we can't support President Trump because he has all this baggage. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to support Trump. You don't have to like me because I do. And if you want to denounce me as family members, et cetera, then so be it, because I am a free human being. I am a free man in America. And because of democracy, I get to select the person that I want to represent me and my country, which is Donald J. Trump. And a lot of people go, you're just saying that Trump ain't going to do anything for you. Trump has done more for the black community than anybody. And it shouldn't even be anything about a particular community. The particular community has nothing to do with it. President Trump understood that the weakest of us all, you hear me? See, as a businessman, you have to understand this. If you're the weakest of us all, if you can make the weakest become really strong, what does that do for everybody else that's already strong? It makes for a stronger nation. And see, that's what President Trump's objective was. That's what President Trump was trying to do. And as a result of all of that, They don't, the left, they want to destroy him because they saw what he was doing. I can't understand how these people grew up here in America and they want to change America for the worse, not for the better, but for the worse. And then they get mad at me. They get mad at Will Johnson because Will Johnson wants to support President Trump. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Now, I titled this, They Are Coming. They literally are coming, right? They're coming for President Trump. They're not going to stop. They're coming for you. They're not going to stop. They're coming for your children. You already see that, and they're not going to stop. And they're coming for your Second Amendment. They're not going to stop. They're doing everything that they can to come after the American people. This is like the 1930s, 1940s, as I'm always saying, and it's repeating. It's like they want it to repeat. And this, for me, it's like mind-boggling because these people constantly talking about they're against, a certain group of people, Pacific color, right? You know what I'm saying? They're always saying that they're against these group of people. But yet the same tactics that they're complaining about that the people use in 1930s, 1940s Germany, they're applying those same tactics today. And I'm talking about the left. But then they want all of you. They want to try to convince all of you that it's the Republicans. It's the white Republicans doing it. They're the ones doing all of this. They're the ones doing all of this. Okay, let me share some of the stuff that I have to share with you. And please, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit the share button on this. Hit the share button because I'm going to prove it to you that they are coming. They're coming. And we're going to start off with the second A. We're going to start off with that because they're not even holding back. And they're not going to act like they even care that that they're tyrannical. Ruskin? Do you know who Ruskin is? I'm going to play a video clip and he's going to literally say like it's a bad thing to want to fight against tyranny. I mean, he's really, when I play this clip for you, you can be like, what? He's literally suggesting that it's bad for any American to be against a tyrannical government. Now, listen to this.
In other words, by unelected bureaucrats who believe they can make law, apply law, enforce and adjudicate law. That is something every American should be concerned about because that is the definition that James Madison wrote so eloquently in the 62nd Federalist is the definition of tyranny. And it doesn't just apply to this agency.
Yes, not just this agency. We need to be against tyranny. We need to be against communism. The left wants communism. The left wants tyranny. The left wants all of this demonic stuff. They want all of it. They want all of it. And I can't stand these evil people. I really can't. But you know what? They have the freedoms because we're in the United States of America. They have the freedom to enjoy all of the demonic stuff that they're doing. See, that's the one thing about the United States of America. That's the one thing about the men and the women in the past that have bled, sweat, and died so that you and I can live the life that we want to live, even if we disagree with the lifestyle. But you get to live it because this is the greatest nation known to man. This is the greatest nation. And of course, they don't want it to be that any longer. And the Democrats are actually helping China. They're actually helping China achieve that goal by taking America down. These are people that's supposed to be on our side. They're supposed to be. Now, like I said, Ruskin, this dude here, you see him? This dude here. And here lately, he's been wearing like these, they're like bandanas. And I don't know why he's wearing a bandana. Maybe he has something going on. Maybe he has a swastika on top of his head. I don't know. But it's not even really important. The important thing is what he's saying. And just like I told all of y'all, right when I started tonight, he is actually upset if you want to go against tyranny. And I want y'all to listen to how he's talking about the Second Amendment, how he's saying that the Republicans are willing to allow people to die left and right just so they can keep their Second Amendment. And no Republican has ever said such a thing. Not a single Republican. Listen to the way he describes the way we, God-fearing, loving Americans, the way we feel about the Second Amendment, about the way we feel about protecting our families, our children, our nation. Listen to what he says. This dude is repulsive.
Die of gun violence in America than in any other industrialized country on earth, whether we're talking about Canada or Germany or France, United Kingdom, Japan, Israel, you name it. They know that the states with the highest rates of firearm deaths are the ones with the weakest gun laws, and the states with the lowest levels of firearm deaths have the strongest gun laws. But they say that all of this chaos and destruction is just the necessary price we have to pay because of the Second Amendment. All those thousands of people gunned down at church and school, at the Walmart, in parks and grocery stores are just the human sacrifice we've decided to pay as a society for our Second Amendment. My colleagues, this is a lie. Our colleagues advance a completely flawed theory of the Second Amendment, which leads them to oppose even reasonable common sense gun safety rules that the Supreme Court has approved and which the vast majority of Americans endorse.
You hear this? So what vast, and you know what, Ruskin, he is a he is a demon. He works directly with demons because he is a demon. He has a demonic spirit in him. Search and destroy. Thank you so much for making that obvious comment. Thank you so much. And I hope y'all like that because I'm able to put the comments just like right there, right there in my face. You see that? But I wanted to put it there because I like it. I like, being able to put the comments, and I encourage if I see something really popping off and you make a really good statement, that's if I see it. Now, everyone's making really awesome statements. I can see them. I can't put all of them, but that one is 100% true. But let me go back to this. Ruskin is absolutely lying. He's absolutely lying. And everybody knows that he's lying. He knows that he's lying. No Republican ever is saying that, well, we would rather risk people dying just so we can have our Second Amendment. We want to have our Second Amendment so that we can protect lives. See, the tyrannical left, and he's a tyrant. This dude is a total tyrant. He believes that disarming law-abiding citizens is the answer. The same thing that they did with Stalin, Mao Zedong, Hitler, right? All of them. They believe that you have to disarm everybody and then we'll make you safe. Well, how did that work out in the past? We all saw how that worked out. We can't allow that to happen again. We don't want to repeat the history. That's what it comes down to.
Our colleagues embrace what's called the insurrectionist theory of the Second Amendment. Our colleague, Mr. Gates, says the Second Amendment is, quote, about maintaining within the citizenry the ability to maintain an armed rebellion against the government if that becomes necessary. Our colleague, Chip Roy, says the Second Amendment was designed purposefully to empower the people to resist the force of tyranny used against them.
Exactly. That's the point. That's what it, and it's not even, you know what? This dude hates the Constitution because he won't even quote the Constitution. He doesn't want to quote the Constitution. He wants to quote other members of Congress. You see that? He wants to quote other members of Congress, but he will not quote the Constitution. The Constitution is there so that we can defend ourselves from a tyrannical government. The founding fathers knew exactly what they were doing when they created by the inspiration of God. And I've said this multiple times before, and I'm sticking with it. The Constitution is the second greatest document known to man. And I'm going to say that again. You know, the last time I said that, there was this tyrannical agency out of Iran. This group out of Iran penalized my video on Facebook because I said that. And here I am saying it again, because the Constitution is the second greatest document known to man. You can say what you want about the rest. But listen, this dude is literally lying.
And Congresswoman Boebert says the Second Amendment, quote, has nothing to do with hunting unless you're talking about hunting tyrants.
Who are the tyrants? Right? Now, I don't agree with going out and actually bringing harm to anybody. Let me make sure that's clear. Because I'm saying, oh my goodness, Will Johnson's embracing violence. Never have I ever done that. Never. For everyone that watches my videos, and some people actually got upset with me because I'm constantly saying that we don't need to be violent. I'm constantly saying we don't need to be violent. And some people got upset with me because I said that. It is what it is.
Maybe. Well, this theory is completely debunked and destroyed by the text of the Constitution itself and by Supreme Court precedent. And yet their theory of the Second Amendment is killing Americans. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15 of the Constitution gives Congress the power to provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union and suppress insurrections and invasions. The Republican Guarantee Clause tells the U.S. Congress to guarantee a Republican form of government to the states and to protect them against domestic violence. There's 6 other provisions.
Okay. And, he mentioned a militia. And I want to set the record straight on that. Okay. I want to talk about that because he actually mentioned the militia. Well, you know what? The militia, you are part of the militia. When they come, because I've had multiple tyrant leftist liberals constantly ask me, are you part of the militia? Are you a well-organized militia? Let me tell you, and it dawned on me, and I'm sitting there looking at him, like, because when the first time that question was presented to me, I was like, okay, well, do they have a point? And then I started researching and I started thinking about it. We, the people, make up the militia in the country. Now, I know the tyrants don't like me saying this and the tyrants don't want me to even mention it, but we make up the militia, you and I. And the militia, and I've been saying this all day, there's no building anywhere that says militia on the building. There's no building, no warehouse anywhere that has, weapons or what have you, et cetera, et cetera. So then that way you can go defend yourself against tyranny. There's no building. Say, okay, you report to building sector 1345 XYZ for, your militia papers. It doesn't work that way. The militia consists of the American people. And in order for you to be ready for when the militia is needed, that's why we have the Second Amendment. And that's why you have gun shops. And I'm telling people so you can protect yourself. I don't want anyone to go out and be on aggressive. I don't want us to be like Antifa. I don't want us to be like BLM. I don't want us to be like these communist Democrats, right? I don't want us to be like that. I want us to be prepared and ready just only so we can protect ourselves. And you understand what I'm saying. But the tyrannical left, they always take what I say and they try to twist it because that's how they do everything. Like President Trump says, be peaceful. Oh my goodness, he's calling for violence. Because they're not capable of registering. The mind of the left is they're not capable of registering the truth. And that's the reason why they can't even differentiate between a man and a woman, because they don't know what the truth is. Now, I do have more I want to share with you on this. This is so crazy to me. It's so crazy that they even have to have hearings about protecting our Second Amendment rights. It's in the Constitution. And of course, if the Democrats get their way, they're going to do away with the U.S. Constitution. They're going to get rid of it. They're going to get rid of it because they've already said it's an out-of-date document. They do not like it. They do not like it. Okay. For some reason, so you notice how I've been putting the comments on the screen, and for some reason, the Facebook comments stopped coming through. I'm only seeing the YouTube comments. And Rumble doesn't have it where I can add the comments on the screen like this. I would have to do a different settings, I would have to do a screenplay type thing to print on the screen. But I do apologize for that. But I don't know why all of a sudden the Facebook comments, am I even live on Facebook any longer? It looks like I am. Am I live on there? Maybe. I don't know. I can't really tell. Okay. Well, let me move on. Let me play this next one for you. This one here is with Matt Gaetz. And Matt Gaetz is drilling this dude, talking about our Second Amendment rights and how the ATF and basically, essentially, the federal government was collecting data on the American people. The federal government collecting data on the American people where it's not legal what they were doing. Well, Matt Gaetz is talking to this guy that I guess he's supposed to be representing the ATF. I'm not sure where the ATF is because apparently the ATF didn't show up to this, but they're talking to people I guess they're in communication with the ATF from the Biden regime. And they're asking the question, when Matt Gaetz is asking the question, he tried to bring up, well, Trump did so-and-so, Trump did this, and Reagan did that. And he specifically wants to bring up Republican presidents trying to say, well, you know, these Republican presidents did X, Y, Z. And Matt Gaetz goes, I don't care who did it.
The Nonpartisan Government Accountability Office issues a report in June of 2016, Firearms Data. The ATF did not always comply with the Appropriations Act restriction and should better adhere to its policies. Mr. Wilcox, you're the witness the Democrats have invited here today. Are you familiar with that report?
I am.
And does the fact that the ATF broke the law concern you?
It's just a yes or no. It should be like, yeah, you know what? Actually, it does concern me. We're looking into this. I'm completely understand what you're saying, and we don't need any organization breaking the law. I mean, we should be looking into this. It's like I'm having deja vu for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Ooh. It's like, maybe I've said this before, because it's like they're constantly doing the same thing.
Report, I believe, supported ATF's action in cataloging records to stop crime.
I'll read from it. It says, a technical defect allows ATF agents to access data, including purchaser data, beyond what ATF policy permits. Do you take any umbrage with that conclusion?
ATF has been collecting out-of-business records pursuant to a law signed by Ronald Reagan, and President Trump digitized more records than any other president.
I don't care who did it. I'm just worried about the impact on my citizens. And I would acknowledge there may be Republican presidents who didn't do enough in the 80s to protect our gun rights. But on this finding, the ATF had to delete 252 million records, didn't they?
So this is a tool that...
Yes or no? Yes, they did. See, now listen to this. And I didn't even really catch this earlier. Matt Gaetz asked him a question about all of these records that were deleted. And then this guy here is automatically going to start talking about, well, this tool. So he's fully aware of what Matt Gaetz is saying. He's fully aware of what he's saying. But then he's going to try to twist it. Watch.
So this is a tool that's helped solve 50% of crime.
Wait.
See, he knows the tool. He knows what he's talking about. He knows exactly what Matt Gaetz is talking about. This is so important that y'all pay attention to this, because this dude is lying. He just got caught in a lie right here. I hope they hold him accountable for lying. He's literally lying, working for the Biden regime, wanting to disarm the American people, and they're spying on the American people. They don't care that you know. They don't care.
Did they have to delete 252 million records?
Yes or no?
What I know about this tool is that it's a
That's how I'm
crime-fighting
asking
tool.
you. Did they have to delete? You said you're aware of the report. Is that conclusion correct? They had to delete 252 million records.
I'm not aware of that line, but what I'm aware
Okay.
of is...
Oh, see, he's not aware of it, right? He knows what they've been doing. He knows exactly what they've been doing, but, I'm not aware of it.
the tool,
Well,
crime-fighting tool.
I'll represent to you that that's what had to happen. The fact that the government collected 252 million records that was beyond the law, beyond policy, never approved according not to me, not to my fellow Republicans, but to the GAO. Should that be concerning to us, that scope of records being collected?
ATF's collection of out-of-business records was fully compliant with the law.
That's not what the GAO said, so you disagree with the GAO report.
Well, there's 2 points they made. One is the collection of out-of-business paper records that FFLs keep. The second piece was the collection of electronic records that FFLs keep. And what the GAO said was the electronic records were not being converted sufficiently. And that's
Right.
what ATF
So that's why they
fixed
had to delete
become
them,
in compliance with the law.
because they had gone beyond their authority. You see, that's the concern of my constituents. When they go beyond their authority, and you may find those things virtuous, but no one elected you. They elected us to make the laws, and when we make the laws and they don't follow...
Yes, exactly. No one elected them. But they don't care. I'm telling you, they don't care.
then people's rights get diminished. Another area is this issue of the arm braces. Now, in Mr. Wilcox's testimony, he says that an arm brace makes a weapon more powerful. Mr. Bosco, you know a lot about arm braces, don't you?
I do.
Do arm braces make firearms more powerful?
They do not. They do not.
Does it concern you that the witness that the Democrats brought would make such a claim that is obviously disproven by any utilization of those arm braces?
I hope that my testimony today can help everyone here understand that the brace does nothing to make the weapon any more dangerous than it already is.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? This is kind of like them trying to go after, like they did the bump stock. Now, for those of you that know exactly what this is, this brace, maybe you can explain it to me. I'm not a gun expert, so I don't know. To my understanding, the brace, this is just to my understanding. I could be wrong. To my understanding, the brace makes it to where you can be more accurate on your aiming, on your shot, right? If you're doing sports, hunting, that you can be more accurate, right? That's my understanding. So it doesn't make it more powerful. It doesn't make it something that it's not. It just means you can be a little bit more accurate. So for those of you that are, gun experts or that know enough about it, know more than Will Johnson, and you can explain it to me. You can leave me a comment. And if I see it, I will put it up on the screen. And Sherry, we're not related. She has an awesome last name, but we're not related. Sherry's absolutely right. It is a dog and pony show. It really is a dog and pony show. 100%. Search and Destroy, thank you so much. Search and Destroy is on it. Thank you so much for that advertisement.
And so when you've got the ATF going beyond their authority, collecting 252 million records that they have to destroy, well, that can just be explained because they're doing their best. But when Americans get inadvertently converted to felons because the ATF has exceeded their authority, there is no such grace for them, is there, Ms. Swear?
You know what? That's so profound because they're wanting to take okay, so put it this way. And this is not even with guns. So just imagine one day the federal government come and say, hey, if you have more than 4 forks, listen, this is how it is. If you have more than 4 forks in your home, you will be charged a felony because what they're talking about, this strap, is completely legal. It's not illegal. 10 years ago, they talked about it, and they've been selling them ever since then, and they sold millions of them. So basically, essentially, what's going to end up happening is like you either get rid of it or you automatically become a felony. Why would they? I mean, this has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with anything. They're doing this on purpose because they're getting ready to come. I'm telling you, they're on their way. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they're on their way.
That would seem to be the case under the recent policy change to zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance for our fellow Americans when they're trying to exercise their rights and protect their liberties, but all the tolerance in the world for a corrupt bureaucracy that is violating the law, exceeding their authority, and collecting records that they have no business collecting. I would make this final observation. I had the great privilege to spend 2 years on the House Judiciary Committee with the gentlelady from Missouri, and while she and I disagree strongly on this issue, her beliefs are sincere, and they are strong, and they are powerful, particularly when she expresses them. And so when she says to people...
Now listen to what he's saying, because at first when I heard this, I'm like, wow, he's like, giving someone props on the left, right? But listen to what he says, because the left, they strongly believe in the tyrannical things that they want to do.
That she wants to defund the police?
Yep, they do.
She means it.
Yeah.
And when she says in this committee meeting that gun violence is a public health emergency, well, she means that too. And our fellow Americans know the impact of folks up here in Washington declaring everything and anything a public health emergency. It means you're more likely to be locked in your homes, deprived of your freedoms, less healthy, less safe, less secure, and less able to live a truly American life. So,
you know what? That is so true, because the Biden regime and the Democrats, they're trying to hand our sovereignty over to the WHO. And this is not the first time that they tried to do it. And the Democrats and the Democrats here in the United States of America, they're on board with it. There were some other nations that did not join in, and they said no to it. And essentially what would happen if they give full authority to the WHO, they can say this is a health crisis because people own firearms. This is what they're saying. They're saying it's a health crisis. And Donna, you're so spot on. I put that on the screen. They weaponize all of the ABC bureaus, like the CIA, FBI, FTC, IRS, all of them, right? Right. And I'm assuming that's what you're saying because it, makes sense right there, right? And all of the departments to get around the law and the Constitution. And so I can't make up the rest. It's small letters here. Let me see if I can read this. It says they're not. I can't. It's cutting it off for me in my little application here. I do apologize, but it's up on the screen, right? It's too small for me to read it. I hope it's not too small for everybody else to read it. But yeah, 100% spot on. 100% spot on. 100% spot on. Okay, let me finish the rest of this.
So know this, when the left talks about this as a public health emergency, get ready to see those enhanced authorities abused by the ATF. And Mr. Chairman, it is my sincere hope that
Yeah, you know what? They're going to abuse their authority. And you know what this actually made me think about when I first heard them doing this? This actually made me think about the Supreme Court. It made me think about the Supreme Court, meaning that the Democrats, when they could not pass anything in Congress, what did they do? They went over to the Supreme Court. Give an example, like Roe versus Wade. Congress didn't pass that. They went to the Supreme Court and they said, oh, it needs to be law of the land. So Supreme Court, 50 years ago said, yeah, it's the law of the land, when the Supreme Court cannot make laws. And that's the reason why not too long ago, they overturned Roe versus Wade, and they are still angry about it. And they put it back to the states to allow the states to make the decision by the people on what they want to do per state, because the Supreme Court cannot make laws. That's why they jumped up really quick to codify the whole sodomy thing. They want to codify it. So because they saw that the Supreme Court was possibly going to turn around and say, well, you know what, that's unconstitutional as well. So that's the reason why they jumped up to try to codify that, because they want everything demonic to stay in place. All of it to stay in place. Everything that's demonic. Everything. And I do mean everything. I have to play this one for you too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wilcox, did you or anyone in your organization communicate with the ATF or the Biden administration about these issues we are discussing today prior to the notice of proposed rulemaking?
We submitted formal petitions for rulemaking through the appropriate channels, sir.
Before the notice of proposed rulemaking?
That's correct.
So you were in communication with the Biden administration wanting to make these changes?
We filed formal petitions for rulemaking through the appropriate channels.
Who'd you talk to?
It was a written submission, sir.
Did you speak to anyone personally?
I didn't.
Did anyone in your organization talk to anyone?
I have to check, but I believe we submitted the written submission as a formal submission.
People in your organization may have talked to folks at the ATF prior to the notice of proposed rulemaking?
Not that I'm aware.
Did anyone in your organization talk to Mr. Dettelbach before the notice of proposed rulemaking?
I don't believe Mr. Dettelbach had
He came in afterward.
nominated.
Have anyone talked to Mr. Dettelbach about this personally?
Of course, we've been in communication with the ATF in this administration and in prior administrations.
Talking to the director? You've talked to the director?
We work with ATF across administrations.
Just yes or no, right? I mean, why deflect? Yeah, I've talked to him. I talked to him a couple of times. I talked to him about various things, and if you want to know specifics, we'll have to do that in the private briefing. I forget what they call it, the skiff. Is that what it is? We'll have to do that in a private briefing. But yeah, I have talked to him. It's really simple.
Administrations.
Have you talked to the director? It's a simple question.
Yeah, I've communicated with the director.
Oh yeah, I've communicated with the director. Why you didn't say that from the get-go? That's what he's been asking you. How is it that these people claim and they try to act like they're so highly intelligent, but when they ask simple questions, they can never answer the question? Is it just me? Because see, I don't claim to be highly intelligent. I don't. I never do. When I always talk about when it's come time to get in line, when it comes to intelligence, I'm in the back of the line. But these people take the cake because they want everyone to believe that they are intelligent. You understand that? They want people to believe that. And then they ask a simple question and they can't even answer it.
Talk to Mr. Dettelbach.
Of course.
Yeah. And I find that interesting. I just know as we're speaking upstairs, the president of the National School Board Association is sitting for a transcribed interview because the same thing happened there. National School Board Association talked with the Biden White House, the Biden Justice Department, the Biden Department of Education, concocted this letter that set in motion this whole attack on parents showing up at school boards. And it looks to me like we have a similar operation going on here, where you guys worked with the ATF to change something that had been the law for 10 years to go after law-abiding Second Amendment Americans.
Yep, it's been there for 10 years. What I was talking about earlier about this strap, been there for 10 years. And now they want to go after everyone who owns one and say that it's a felony if you keep it. So then that way they can force people to turn them in. What is you know what? Every time we see what they're doing, there's more sinister stuff in the background that they're not allowing us to see. And they're preparing. They are preparing to do something. Everyone knows it. Everyone sees it. I'm just saying it. I don't know exactly what it is, right? I don't know exactly, but they are preparing for something. You know, give me the definition of something. Now, I have my suspicions on what that something is, and I'm not going to say it on here because they're like, oh, my goodness, Will Johnson, you hear what he said? You hear what he said? Everyone's intelligent enough to know exactly what these people are going to do or what they're wanting to do.
Second Amendment supporting Americans. Mr. Bosco, you invented this stabilizing brace, is that right?
That's correct.
And you invented it for a Marine buddy, a friend of yours who served our country and was injured?
That's correct.
And you were told 10 years ago that the stabilizing brace does not convert a pistol into a short-barreled rifle. Is that right?
That is correct.
I got the letter right here from the ATF, November 26, 2012, right? And then 7 weeks ago, 180-degree change, right? 180-degree change, just the opposite. They now say it is just the opposite of what they told you 10 years ago.
That's
Again, I know others have talked about this. I think it's so clear. 180-degree change. So in 10 years and 2 months, the rule was one way, and you developed a business based on the rule that they told you. Your government told you this was fine, and now they've changed it.
Yep.
That's correct.
When did the bill pass that changed the law?
There was no bill.
No bill. That's the fundamental issue, right? No bill.
No bill, but the FTI came along and said, you know, that like there's been a bill that's been passed. The FTI is making up laws, just like the Supreme Court making up laws. Supreme Court can't make up laws. They only can oversee it based on via the Constitution. ATF is not a lawmaking organization, but they do not care. They do not care. They can care less. And they're counting on people not knowing what ATF, what was it? Alcohol, tobacco, firearms. Well, it's the ATF. They know the law. You don't know the law. You don't know the law. Here it is. You have Jim Jordan and other predominant Republicans, and even the Democrats know that the ATF can't make up laws, but they still do it. Why? Because they don't care, and they're counting on you not knowing. Yes, the Biden regime has nothing but dummies. Yep, I had to put that on the screen because it's 100% true. You are absolutely correct. There are nothing but dummies, and they're liars, and they don't care. And someone said, and that was from Karen, Mary's asking if I'm going to the rally this Saturday. I plan on being there. So I haven't absolutely confirmed it yet, but I plan on being there, and I think it's going to be huge. I tell you, it's going to be huge. So I'm really, 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 really wanting to be there. Especially because Rachel Madcow was like so upset that President Trump is having a rally in Waco, Texas. How dare he? How dare he?
Mr. Dettelbach, the new director, he never ran for Congress. I don't think he was ever. I don't remember a bill going through Mr. Nadler's committee last Congress that changed the law. I would have known because I'm on that committee, the Judiciary Committee, which has jurisdiction over this stuff. I would have known. I don't remember a bill passing the full Congress. I don't remember a bill in the Senate Judiciary Committee passing or going through the Senate. And I certainly don't remember a bill going to President Biden's desk and he signing the legislation that changed the rule. But this could potentially impact millions of Americans, law-abiding, Second Amendment supporting Americans. Is that right, Mr. Bosco?
That's absolutely correct.
How many products have you sold, just your company alone, to Americans? How many stabilizing braces have you sold?
Many millions. I can say that from 2020 to today, which are the years that the ATF didn't concern itself with when it did its impact study, we sold, our company alone, 2.3 million braces.
So while they were doing their study, they didn't count the number of braces that were being sold?
They didn't count in their impact study.
That's probably because Mr. Wilcox's organization told them not to count it, right?
I don't want to.
Well, they were talking to him all the time, it sounds like, putting this all together, going after people who support the Second Amendment. How many Americans do you think it's total? So I've heard estimates as many as 40 million Americans could be impacted by this.
Yeah, 40 million Americans will become immediate felons, right? Immediately, if it's according to the left, 40 million. Now, I don't have one of these devices, what they're talking about, and I'm highly interested. What is it? Because if it's something that the left doesn't want you to have, then we probably should have it. I'm just saying, If it's something that the communist Democrat Party doesn't want you to have, then it's probably something we want to have. Yeah, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you so much, Sherry, for bringing that to light. I'm not sure, sometimes YouTube's been really jacking with me. I don't even know what the deal is on YouTube, but please hit the thumbs up. And you know what? Yesterday, let me do this real quick before I go on. Let me finish. Let me play this and then I'll do it.
Correct. Congressional Research Services has said anywhere between 10 and 40 million Americans own stabilizing braces.
Unless you remove the brace, lengthen the barrel, turn in or destroy your firearm, or register your gun with this government that you know you can trust, because Mr. Wilcox has been working with them, you know you can trust. Unless you do those 4 things, what happens? What are you?
A felon.
A felon. A felon for something 10 years ago they said was just fine.
See, I told you. You're a felon. You're a felon. And they're making up laws that don't even exist. It's kind of like the DA Alvin Braggs in New York, just making up the law as he go along to fit his demonic narrative, right? It's kind of the same thing here.
That you build a business on, and the business started because you wanted to help a man who put the uniform of his country on his back and served our country and was injured, and now they're going to put you out of business and make people felons. But don't worry, Everytown USA, Mr. Wilcox has been working with our government to implement this, to target Second Amendment people, Americans who support the Second Amendment. Such a deal. Such a deal. That's why we need legislation to say this rule we need to pass that. That's what we do need to pass into law now, based on what has happened with this organization.
100%. 100%. 100%. Jim Jordan is so spot on. He's so spot on. Okay, so yep. So now, Karen, thank you so much for letting me know. Karen's saying it's like 57 on there now. Now, you know what? As far as when it comes to Rumble, and again, I'm not neglecting people on Rumble. I'm not, because I'm flipping over and I'm looking. Okay, I see the people on Rumble too, but right now Rumble, I have 32 thumbs up. Let me refresh. Sorry, my mistake. My bad. It's 61. 61 likes on Rumble, and on YouTube. Let me go over YouTube. It says there's 66 on YouTube. Now, come on, let's get in it. And on Facebook, when it comes to the likes, everyone can hit the thumbs up button multiple times, so it really can't count that one. But what I equate the thumbs up is the shares on Facebook. And right now, Facebook has 322 shares. And it's very possible for YouTube to get to that point. And I'm telling you, every time y'all hit the thumbs up on Rumble and YouTube, it actually helps with the algorithms and it pushes the video up. Because a lot of people wondering, like, why are Will Johnson's videos so buried? And a lot of people like my videos and they're like, why is it so buried? Because people don't hit the thumbs up. You have to hit the thumbs up. You hit the thumbs up. It's like right now, YouTube just went up to 73, 75 on YouTube for everybody. If everybody hit it on YouTube, one person hit the thumbs up and they took it away. I guess they don't like me. If you don't like what I'm saying, and you can do the same thing on, Rumble. If you don't like what I'm doing, just simply hit the thumbs down. Hit it twice. Show me what's up. Show me what's up. Show me that you're the boss, and hit the thumbs down twice. Say, I'll fix you. I'm gonna hit it twice. Right? That's all you need to do. If you don't like my videos, you don't like Will Johnson, hit the thumbs down twice. That's how it works. Okay, so now there's 80 likes on YouTube. And let me go over here. Wow, there's 336 shares on 337 shares on Facebook. And let me see, on Rumble, 96 shares, 96 thumbs ups on Rumble. Almost at 100. Four away. Okay. Now, I think there's a couple more things that I want to share with you. Let me share this one with you. Now, why would we want to allow any country, any organization to be able to come in and control or even spy on the American people. Why would we allow that? Right? That should not be allowed in the United States of America. It should not be allowed, but it is. It's being allowed right now in the United States of America. And look at this. The tyrannical left, the Democrats, they're saying keep TikTok when the data, your personal sensitive data is going to China. And they're talking about keep TikTok. Someone help me understand that. What do you mean keep TikTok? You know what? I'm looking in the comments right now. Someone tell me, please tell me, help me understand. What do you mean keep TikTok? This is just another example to show how tyrannical these people are, how they don't care about the American people, how they don't care about our sovereignty, how they don't care about our safety. Because this is what it comes down to. TikTok gathers every single thing on your phone. It's like the best hack in the planet, because people are doing it. Now, listen to what the Democrats say here, right? Because they know that the Republicans want the American people's safety and security to be protected. And the Democrats say,
you know, Robert, I just realized something. Republicans ain't got no swag. That's why they want to ban TikTok. Republicans ain't got no swag. That's the problem. And I mention that in the context of engaging young people in the democratic process.
You know what? That's what it really comes down to. You see that? They know that a lot of young people use TikTok. And because a lot of young people use TikTok, they want to utilize it to still brainwash people. That's the only reason why they want to keep TikTok around, because they see the youth have embraced TikTok. They're like spending hours and hours and hours and hours on TikTok. But you know what's really disturbing is that if you put, and I haven't seen it, I don't even get on TikTok, but I remember when I got on TikTok a while back, before all this information came out about it. And when you would post conservative Christian beliefs, pro-American beliefs, they wouldn't allow those videos to be seen. I mean, look at yours truly. They wouldn't allow those videos to be seen. But if you want to talk about perversion of children, if you want to talk about the Democrat policies, if you want to talk about destroying America, those videos would get millions and millions of views. Millions of views. Now, maybe other people have seen other information on TikTok where they were allowing some conservatives to get through. But when I would go on there, I'm like, man, you know what? I left TikTok even before the information came out about them, how corrupt they are. I left them before then. Here's another one that's talking about TikTok, and I think it's really important because China is wanting to control America. They want to control the world.
And they were going to follow individual American citizens. I ask you again, Mr. Chu, has ByteDance spied on American citizens?
Basically, TikTok. To my understanding, this is the company that owns TikTok, right? Or the organization that's over TikTok. And have they spied on Americans? Now, listen to the response of this. Listen to the response. It's just yes or no. Yes or no. It should be the response, right?
I don't think that spying is the right way to describe it.
Really? You don't think spying is the right way to describe it? You don't think so? Really? Then what would you call it? Because that's exactly what's happening.
I don't think that spying is the right way to describe it.
Right.
This is ultimately...
We can differ on
this
that.
This is ultimately an internal
Any
investigation.
TikTok or ByteDance data that is viewed, stored, or passes through China is subject to the laws of China. One-party authoritarian state hostile.
Yeah, and you know what? To my understanding, the app TikTok has been banned in China. How does that work? So TikTok is sharing their data with China, but I guess because the application is such a spy hole in people's devices, you know, that China is like, well, you know what, we can't allow this to be on in our country because they'll spy and they'll get too much information. And who's to say that the company one day won't, you know, stop sharing the data with us and then ship it to somebody else? Because millions upon millions of people have it on their mobile device right now. And I'm pretty sure someone watching my videos right now have it on there. And again, if Democrats wants you to do something, you probably shouldn't do it. If the Democrats say that you shouldn't be able to do something, have something, then you probably need it. You understand what I'm saying? You probably need it. What is this? Queen says TikTok is a spy app. Hold on. TikTok is a spy app. He is saying no. What planet is he living on? 100%. 100%. Say, let me put this one on the screen. This is a good one here. Say yes to Jesus Christ. Do me a favor real quick. Because right now, there's roughly just a little over 430 people on my Facebook page. Let me see how many on YouTube. It says there's 81 on YouTube. And thank you for the likes. We're almost at 100 likes on YouTube and almost 100 likes on, or 400 likes on, or 400 shares on Facebook. And on Rumble, we're at 104. We're at 240 people watching, and we're at 96 shares. Before I speak, let me refresh. 116. Got to refresh it on Rumble. We're at 116. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Okay. Do me a favor. For everybody that's watching on Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook right now, can you say the name Jesus? Who's ashamed to say it? Right? Who's ashamed to type it in? Now, this is not like a trick or anything to get you to say Jesus if you don't want to say it. If you're scared to say Jesus' name, or you be like, well, just because Will is suggesting me to type in Jesus, I'm not going to type it. You know, there's a lot of big burly grown men that watch my videos, and thank you so much, sir. But please, just this one time for me. If you haven't typed anything ever before on my videos, no matter how you're watching this, just type Jesus. Just one time for me. Just one time. Even if you don't type nothing else, just type Jesus. If you don't want to share my video, at least just type Jesus. Just one time for me. Let's see if we can say Jesus so much that it will bring attention. It will bring attention to what is happening in our world. It'll bring attention that we are still believing in the living God. Just one time. And you know, I don't come on here and I'm not a preacher. I don't claim to be a preacher. I do acknowledge God, the creator of all things. Just type it one time for me. And the reason why I want to type it for you, because I'm going to show you something. I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but just like it says in the Bible, for those that were acknowledging God, those who believe in Jesus, you will be persecuted for his name. Now, some people might not want to type Jesus' name because they don't want to be persecuted, because they don't want to acknowledge God, or because they're too embarrassed to say that they believe in God. They're too scared to let others know that they believe in God. I'm not. I'm saying it out loud, and I've never had an issue saying it. In Jesus' name, those who believe in Christ, and that day is coming. That day is coming quicker than a lot of people believe. And you don't have to believe me. I mean, and that's perfectly fine. When they get to that point and it happens, most people go like this. Well, you know, I remember this guy. I don't even remember his name. Or it'll be people that won't even remember me because it'd be so much craziness going. You won't even have time to think about what I'm telling you now. And that's perfectly fine because it's going to happen. And it's going to be a time where they'll be like, man, they're coming after Christians because I'm telling you right now, they believe that Christians are the biggest problem in the country. They believe that Christians are the biggest problem in the world. There's going to be a time coming. There's going to be a time coming. There is. There's going to be a time coming. Wow. You know what? I wish, let me do this real quick. And thank you so much for that. That's a super chat, I think. Is that a super chat? It sure is. It sure is. Vern, thank you so much. Yes, Jesus is Lord. Now, I've actually talked to the company that I use my application, my software, and I asked them if they could take it. That's a little high, isn't it? Let me bring it down to there. Is that better? Yeah, that's much better. The company I talked to actually said that they're going to work on making it to where Facebook stars, when people bless me with Facebook stars and they put comments in there and stuff, or even if they just do the stars, I can make it pop up here. I've already talked to the company and they said that they're going to work on it. They're actually working on it. But thank you so much for that blessing. Thank you so much. Now, let me show you why I wanted you to type in the name of Jesus. Let me show you why. Okay? Let me show you why. All right, here we go. This is why. There's a group of, I guess if you want to call them gentlemen, in Israel. And there's some people right now that have bad, ill feelings towards Israel, like Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, AOC even, the squad, Presley, and even some Democrats. The only reason why the Democrats don't want anybody to say anything bad about Jewish people is because Jewish people have been pouring money into the Democrat Party, which I don't understand why they do that. But just like we have tyrants here in the United States of America that hates Israel, there's actually people in Israel that don't like Christians. And you know what? That's their freedom, right? But just because you have a select few people that don't like Christians in Israel doesn't mean that we need to denounce Israel. Like we need to throw Israel under the bus, because I truly believe what the Bible says. Those who curse Israel will be cursed. And the Democrats don't have any problems cursing Israel. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons why we have all this stupid stuff happening in our country right now, because of the Democrats. And the Republicans didn't do enough to get rid of them. But let me share with you why. Have y'all seen this? Have y'all seen this? Look at this. Look at this.
Conservative Christian leaders are calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to stop a bill proposed by members of his coalition to make it criminal to tell people about Jesus in Israel. Our Jerusalem correspondent Daniel Cohen is live near Tel Aviv with more. Good morning, Daniel.
You hear this? They want to make it illegal to tell people about Jesus. They want to make it illegal to tell people about Jesus. Why would they do that? And you know what? It kind of makes me think about the Democrats. Same thing the Democrats want to do here. You know what? This will be the only time I can see Democrats wanting to side up and team up with Israelis. It's for that reason alone. And the Bible is clear. For those of us that love Christ, we will be persecuted for his name. Okay, I'm not going to stop it here. It's not this long of a video. Listen. And thank you so much for that super chat. I'm going to get to the stars here in just a second. The stars doesn't show up in my app here, or I most definitely would put it up. But I do apologize for that. They're working on it.
Good morning, Allison. Good morning, everyone. A big story just before, days before Palm Sunday, Good Friday, and Easter. Sacred time for Christians. Two ultra-Orthodox members of Prime Minister Netanyahu's coalition have introduced a bill that would punish believers for sharing the gospel of Jesus with prison time. United Torah Judaism Knesset members Moshe Gafni and Yaakov Asher introduced legislation last week, making it illegal to share in conversation or produce content online, in print, or by mail. Their explanation of the bill emphasizes a warning to stop Christians in particular.
Christians in particular. Why would they do such a thing? Right? Because, and you know what, it's really kind of stupid on these two, let me see, these two guys here. It's really stupid on their part. It really is. It's really stupid on their part. Let me hold on. Let me do this real quick. Okay. Now you can see them. It's really stupid on their part to try to attack Christians when the United States of America is the biggest Christian nation on the planet that supports Israel. The United States of America is the eagle's wings in the Bible that comes to the rescue for Israel. Christ is the ultimate rescue, right? But it talks about in the last days that the eagle with eagle's wings will come to the aid. And let me put it that way. Will come to the aid. Okay? Will come to the aid of Israel in the last days. So why would they do this? Why would they do this? And just because you have a few there that dislike America, right, and dislike Christians, we shouldn't like, oh my goodness, we need to dislike all of Israel and all the Jewish people, because that's not right. We have idiots here, Democrats, that hate Israel, right? So should the Israelis think that we all hate Israel? No. We're individuals. People think for themselves. People get to be stupid individuals on their own, right? Everyone understand that, right? Everybody understand that, right? Okay, so let me go over to Facebook and say thank you to everyone who's blessed me on Facebook. Again, I wish I could have the stars pop up, because I most definitely would do that. It's coming. But until then, if you're on Facebook, they pop up there. You know what? I only acknowledge people for blessing me. Okay, one person tried to take it and tried to say that, well, you shouldn't be telling people that they're blessing you. So I can't thank people openly I can't thank you openly, publicly. Well, why not? Now, it's one thing if I see, this is how this one person twisted the whole thing, right? They twisted the whole thing. It's one thing if I'm going around giving money to people and then I'm looking for glory for it, gratification behind it. Oh, look at what Will Johnson doing. Look, Will Johnson's so good. He's giving money to this person, giving money to that person. Oh, look. This one thing if I were doing that. And the Bible's clear. What you do, what you want God to see, do it in the quietness of your own. Do it in the privacy. God knows what you're doing. Now, I just publicly say thank you to people. Like you're out in the street and you're going somewhere, someone does something nice for you. Thank you. Why can't I say thank you? It's really bizarre how people sometimes think of stuff, because all I'm doing is saying thank you. Maybe they don't like me saying thank you. I'm really, really confused on it. But Ruby, Andrea, Michael, Chuck, Cindy, Ann, Tanya, Latoya, wow, Pamela, Latoya again, Laura again, Randall again. Thank you, sir. Michael, Joe, let's see, Mike, Mary, Donna. Wow, you guys and gals are blessing me. Andrea again. Wow, thank you so much. Marcelo, and they only say it's only white people supporting me. How's that work? And I can tell sometimes what they are when they have their pictures in here, but other than that, I don't know, and I really don't care. I don't care. It's not relevant. We're all the body of Christ, and the body of Christ consists of all the wonderful colors that God created. All of the wonderful colors. Sherry, thank you so much for that. Rivia, thank you so much for the blessings. Rich, thank you so much as well. Pat, thank you so much for the stars. Wow. Julie, Tammy, Josh, thank you so much for the stars. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is a true blessing. Thank you so much. And again, and then Lisa again and Vern on there. And I'm going to go over to Rumble. Oh, Rumble's in the house. Thank you so much, Rumble. Let me see. Who's this? Was that Moonlight Rider? Is that right? Moonlight Rider. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your channel, Will. No, thank you for supporting my channel. And the thing is, that's the one thing with Rumble. Rumble, if I want to go live, I have to pay for the living service on Rumble. So when you guys and gals, the body of Christ, you support me, you bless me on Rumble, it helps me keep the channel going. I mean, it's truly like a kind of like a give and take thing on Rumble. But you know what? I was paying it before, and no one was supporting me on Rumble, and I was gladly to do it because there's a lot of people on Rumble. So, and I only expect people to bless me because they do it out of their heart, right? That's why. Okay, let me get to another section here. And if I can, because there's just a couple more things that I want to share with you, but, naturally, because of what I want to share with you, I cannot share it on Fascist Book. I can't do it. Or on YouTube, because if I play it on Facebook and if I play it on YouTube, they'll say, oh, you shouldn't do that. You should have done it. You bad guy. You bad guy. You bad guy. How dare you tell the truth? How dare you say the truth? And apparently it's a problem for me telling the truth. So for those of you that want to join me, okay, for those of you that want to join me, come to my Rumble page right now and look at the rest of that I have for you. Look at the rest of the story. But for those of you that don't want to join me on my Rumble channel, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for blessing me, for sharing. And one more time on, let me see, 105 shares on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And let me see how many on Facebook. Oh, wrong one. And there's 436 shares on Facebook. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. All right. Now come on over to Rumble. Come on over to Rumble. Okay? Come on over. Come on over. And I'll see you over there. All right. First, I got to end it on YouTube.